the achievement of the past year and use our experiences of it as a springboard from which to continue to develop our potential and love for learning, to understand our Deen and how best to serve our Creator through the teachings of the Quran and the Holy Ahlul Bayt, alayhi salam. This year has been one of great change for all of us, students, teachers and parents, as we embarked on the Tarbiyah curriculum, which has been an interesting and at times challenging learning journey for all of us. The teachers have given us an insight into the experience of this curriculum in the Madrasa magazine, so please do make sure you get a copy. Before we start our program, just a few reminders of our housekeeping rules. In case of a fire, emergency exits are at the back of the hall on either end, and the fire assembly point is in the car park. Please use the toilets at the end of the corridor on the right-hand side, and the two classrooms just opposite the two hall doors on either side. Please kindly switch off your mobile phones or keep them on silent to avoid disrupting the program. If any of your younger children become agitated, then you may take them to a classroom near the hall. So, without further ado, we will start our program with a recitation of the Holy Quran by Riyan Haji, this translation by Tazeen Zaidi, and reflection on his verses by Zain Muhammad Waji. Please welcome them with a loud salawat.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أتى أمر الله فلا تستعجلوه سبحانه وتعالى عما يشركون ينزل الملائكة لا إله إلا أنت فاتقون خلق السماوات والأرض بالحق تعالى عما يشركون خلق الإنسان من نطفة فإذا هو خصيم مبين والأنعام لكم فيها دفء ومنافع ومنها تأكلون ولكم فيها جمال حين تريحون وحين تصرخون وتحمل أثقالكم إلى بلد لم تكونوا بالغيه إلا بشق الأنفس إن ربكم لرؤوف رحيم والخيل والبغال والحمير لتركبوها وزينة ويخلق ما لا تعلمون صدق الله العلي العظيم.
اللهم صل على محمد.
With the name of Allah, the most kind, the most merciful. Allah's command is coming, so do not seek to hasten it. Immaculate is He, and exalted above having any partners that they ascribe to Him. He sends down the angels with the spirit of His command to whomever He wishes of His servants. Warn the people that there is no God except me, so be wary of me. He created the heavens and the earth with consummate wisdom. He is above having any partners that they ascribe to Him. He created man from a drop of fluid, and behold, he is an open contender. He created the cattle, in which there is warmth for you and other uses, and some of them you eat. There is in them a beauty for you. and they bear your burdens to towns which you could not reach except by straining yourselves. Indeed, your Lord is most kind and merciful. And horses and mules for you to ride them, and for pomp and glory, and he creates what you do not know. It is he who sends down water from the sky. From it you get your drink, and with it are sustained the plants where you pasture your herds. For you he makes the crops grow with it, and olives, date palms, vines, and fruits of all kinds. There is indeed a sign in that for a people who reflect. He disposed the night and the day for you, and the sun, the moon, and the stars are disposed by his command. There are indeed signs in that for people who exercise their reason. And he disposed for your benefit whatever he has created for you in the earth of diverse hues. There is indeed a sign in that for a people who take advice. It is he who disposed the sea for your benefit, that you may eat from it fresh meat and obtain from it ornaments which you wear. And you see the ships flowing through it, that you may see his bounty and that you may give thanks. He cast firm mountains in the earth, lest it should shake you, and made streams and waves, so that you may be guided. If you count Allah's blessings, you will not be able to count them all. Indeed, Allah is all forgiving, all merciful.
Surah Nahl is Surah 16 in the Holy Quran and has 128 verses and is found in Juz 27 and 28. The surah itself takes its name from the bee, which is mentioned in it. Surah Nahl praises Allah for giving humans the earth with all its benefits. According to the surah, all the wonders of the natural world, like the oceans and the seas, are signs of God's infinite power. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has been very merciful to us and has made humans ashraful makhluq, which means the best of all of his creation. He has also made us custodians of the earth that we live in. We are caretakers of divine property. Being caretakers means that we have a huge responsibility towards every single creation of Allah and for the huge protection of the environment as a whole. Another one of the names of this surah is the Surah of the Blessings. This is because there are over 50 blessings that Allah has bestowed upon humans for our use that are mentioned within the surah. These include the use for livestock, for milk, food and clothing, quadruples to aid us in work and travel and give us ease, and the oceans for sustenance and travel, as well as the blessing of our own families and communities. Another blessing is the countless fruits and vegetation that we have. As for honey, Allah says about the bee in ayah 68 and 69, "And thy Lord taught the bee to build its hives in hills, on trees, and in men's habitations, and in what people construct. Then eat from all the fruits, and follow the ways of your Lord that he laid down for you. There emerges from their bellies a drink, varying in colors, in which there is a healing for people. Indeed, in that is a sign for people who give thought." 8 times Allah instructs us in the surah to ponder and give thought to his immense signs and blessings. Allah has created all insects and animals with a specific purpose. He has blessed them with intuition to build homes and live with either families or communities. All of them have their own unique ways of worshipping and praising Allah. Our duties as Ashraful Makhluqat is to take heed, be grateful for, and respect the bounties that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed and entrusted us with. Let us take the first steps towards better environmental habits from this new year and ensure we really are being the type of caretakers that Allah wishes us to be.
Thank you, Da'an, for the beautiful translation, beautiful recitation, and Azim for the clear and fluent translation, and Zayn Muhammad for the excellent reflection on our responsibility towards the creation of Allah and the environment. Our madrasa is already taking small steps towards conserving the environment through reducing disposable waste, and this is hopefully a practice that will become a habit this year. The principal of our madrasa, Shamlun County Biology, will now share her reflections for the past year and aspirations for the coming year. Please welcome Shamlun Auntie with a hearty salawat.
My dear elders, parents, teachers, esteemed guests, Brother Raouf, Fayaz Bhai, and most importantly, my dearest children, Salamun Alaikum. I'm very honoured and truly humbled to stand before you today as we celebrate our annual awards day. Our beloved Imam Ali alayhi salam has said, knowledge,
صل على محمد وآل محمد.
he has said, knowledge gives life to the soul, and knowledge is better than wealth. Knowledge guards you, whilst you have to guard your wealth. Wealth decreases by spending it, whilst knowledge multiplies by its usage. It is the beginning of the new year, and as is customary, throughout the world we take time to look back and to reflect, and to make new and better resolutions, inshallah, that enliven our years of what we're going to do for the next year. And to do this, it gives me great pleasure to look back to 2018 so that we can learn from its lessons and inshallah enhance our new academic year for 2019. So, our mission statement, it's quite lengthy, but you have it in the magazine. In the new year, we ask ourselves, who are we? Who do we want to become? What were we? As our mission statement emphasizes, the Shia Ibn Ashari Madrasa of Essex strives to impart the values of the Ahlul Bayt into the hearts of our fantastic students. We aim as teachers to constantly elevate our own akhlaq first and foremost. We can only teach if we are practicing. We try our best to emulate the exemplary etiquettes of our beloved Prophet ﷺ and his immaculate family, so that we can impart these values onto our students, inshallah. Our ambition and our vision is to practically provide the tools to our students so that they are able to practice their faith with full confidence, mingle with their peers, and become citizens that make a lasting and positive impression in our broader society, inshallah. It's a big take. So, before we go any further, let us look back on our academic year 2018. So, our annual awards day is where we take stock and celebrate our children's commitment to learning our deen, to participating and attending madrasa. And we would ask at this juncture, all of you, as we celebrate, please, timing is of the essence and attendance is hugely important. Our 2018 awards will take place shortly and also reflect the special commendations for students in Quran, Salah, and for contribution in class, inshallah. Our student-led assemblies. We are delighted to have introduced further student participation in madrasa. And this begins at the start of the day. So it's really important that the students arrive on time. We begin at 9:45, please. So our day begins with our student-led assemblies. We hope more students will take the opportunity to prepare presentations of interest to share with fellow students and teachers, and to enlighten our souls with tilawat al-Quran. Our last slide, I beg your pardon. Our last slide shows Hani very effectively conducting an assembly on the environment. And as Zain mentioned earlier, environment is going to be key to the madrasa's future. So please help us with providing as few disposables to your children in their lunch bags as possible. Parents' Day. Our Parents' Day in 2018 took place on the 3rd of February, and this year it's scheduled for the 23rd of March 2019. Please put it into your diaries. It is a vital tool for communication between ourselves and yourselves, for your ideas, for our betterment. Historically, it tends to be poorly attended, so I would urge you all, put it in your diary and make sure you attend. Our Orphans Appeal and Building Fund. MashaAllah, we are so proud as a madrasa that the students and teachers jointly raise funds for the sponsorship of 2 children who have been orphaned due to the terrorist actions that have plagued Iraq. We're humbled by the giving spirit of this community of parents and students. £2.50 per child from the student enrollment goes towards this sponsorship. The rest of the sponsorships comes from various fundraising events organised by the teachers and students alike. One of our dear students, Ali Rasuli, for instance, donated his birthday money last year towards the sponsorship of these children. And we've had all sorts of cake bakes and flower markets to raise the £1,500 required to support the 2 Al Ain Social Care Foundation students. We urge your support once again for 2019 fees. I cannot underestimate and overstress the amount of work the teachers put in generally to try to raise money during the year, from baking cakes and making pies themselves, to arranging individual flowers to sell for Mother's Day. A great, huge thank you to all of them for assisting in this. Our students and teachers have also been magnificent in raising funds for our building appeal, which Fayaz Bai will elaborate on shortly, inshallah. However, I am very proud of them, and to say that as a madrasa, we have raised over £1,500 towards our building fund also. Mostly through, I may hasten to add, the purchase of sweets from our student tuck shop. So dentists amongst us won't be too happy, but it's raised £1,500, alhamdulillah. May I ask you for a loud salawat for our generous parents, teachers and students. The Ramadan Iftar. We had an enormously successful iftar last year, with the students preparing speeches and du'as and organising the volunteering and serving of the iftar itself. We will be sending out the details and the date for this year's iftar, and we would welcome you all and anticipate everyone's support, inshallah. The sports day. Just as during Madrasa Day, lunchtime seems to be the favourite time of the day, as far as our Madrasa calendar is concerned, Sports Day seems to be the favourite date in the year also. We were delighted to welcome the MP for Chelmsford, Vicky Ford, to join us this year in what was an extremely hot but very successful Sports Day in Barbecue. Our teachers' training. We are committed to improvement, and so teachers' training plays a vital part of the Madrasa calendar. In 2018, we had several training programs for our teachers, including behavioural management, safeguarding, spirituality, and ongoing educational training. We have also taken part in several Madrasa Centre of Excellence training sessions for the new World Federation Tarbiyah curriculum. It has been a very eventful year, and most of the teachers have expressed their varied opinions within the Madrasa magazine. We would love and look forward to comments from parents also, but this requires you looking at the children's curriculum and their manuals, please. Our Madlis-e-Azhar. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has forever guided the Shia with a few simple but hugely profound words. And those are, Hussein is from me and I am from Hussein. Our connection to the Holy Prophet and to his beloved Hussein is reinforced by this annual majlis, as the students proclaim their allegiance to both them and in turn to our living Imam, Imam Mahdi, Ajlallah Faraj Sharif. The students, as always, lead the proceedings and organise the majlis from start to finish. And I cannot thank the teachers enough for the support that they give the students so that they can fulfil this huge responsibility. And so to 2019 and all the New Year's resolutions that we make and that we are making as a madrasa. You've seen our mission statement. And our madrasa motto is servitude to Allah and connection to the Holy Prophet and his Ahlul Bayt. The learning partnership between parents, teachers and students is imperative in this equation. Our common goal is to enrich the student learning so that they become positive citizens within society, so that they grow and showcase excellent morals and a strong Muslim identity. The aim is massive and the time frame of madrasa contact hours is very short. Indeed, madrasa is a small piece in this huge jigsaw. A consistent home life, support from parents is absolutely crucial. The home environment and its functioning is the most important and the most vital part of this partnership. And therefore, dear parents, on behalf of the teachers, we urge you to support us fully. 2019 needs to be the year of Salah, Hijab and Quran. Our dear sixth Imam, Imam Jafar al-Sadiq alayhi salam, has said, test my Shia at the time of Salah. Timing of Salah, recitation of Salah, mindfulness of Salah. It is what makes us what we are. Our focus by April, inshallah, is to fully adapt the tarbiyah curriculum to suit our madrasa's needs and to have all our students perfect in their salah and wudu well before they are baligh, inshallah. How to pray should be implemented at home so that madrasa can ideally concentrate on the spiritual aspect of salah, inshallah. I would just like to take a moment to thank all the teachers, the admin staff, the parents' representatives, all our volunteers for their dedicated service. There is no reward in this except from the best of rewarders. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, the best of people are those who are useful to others. And I can hand on heart say that every volunteer that dedicates their time here, every teacher that spends hours preparing so that they can put forward a good, godly teaching session, every administrative staff that takes pains to prepare the environment for us so that we can teach effectively, every one of those deserves a huge debt of gratitude from us. So please may I ask you for a huge salawat for all of them. We are always on the lookout for more help and more support. So please don't be shy in coming forward. Time, as Allah has said, is the greatest of assets and the hugest thing that you can give to anyone. Please dedicate a little of it to this madrasa and for your children. Could I kindly request a Surah Fatiha for all of our marhumeens and particularly for all our scholars. And we remember our dear Sheikh Nimr, who was martyred around the beginning of January, just 2 years ago. Surah Al-Fatiha.
Thank you, Shabnamati. We pray to Almighty Allah to bless you and continue to give you the strength to lead our madrasa. I would now like to call upon one of our parent representatives, Muhammad Uncle Ismail, to give us an update for this year's activities. Please welcome him with a loud salawat.
Assalamu alaikum. Teachers, parents, and obviously students. Thank you to all teachers, their dedication and hard work every week teaching students. Please, can we encourage parents to arrive on time? Not to miss any weeks of madrasa. There is only 31 teaching weeks in total. Also, we humbly request support from parents, teachers, or only have 4 weeks to teach our students on Saturdays. Please do work with them at home. But additionally, there is many hours spending during the week preparing lessons. Hundreds of WhatsApps and emails are exchanged. I would like to thank you. Amber Bai, Rahat's sister, has been our panel representative for the past 3 years. She was stepping down this year, and we are very grateful to her for all hard work. Now we have a new panel representative working as a team with us. There's still 2 of us. Please, could you welcome Sister Shahbanu Alidadi with very loud salawat. If you need us, obviously you can contact either of us. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Thank you, Muhammad Uncle. May Allah reward you and the parent rep team amply for your hard work. We are honoured today to have among us a very learned and renowned figure who most of us are used to seeing on screen on the Ahmed Bayt channel, but who is not a stranger to Essex Jamaat, and we are once again very grateful to him for accepting our invitation to deliver the Lady Zainab annual speech. Please welcome Sheikh Abdul Rauf with a loud salawat.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا وحبيبنا وطبيب قلوبنا بالقاسم محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. Respected elders, my sisters and brothers in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let me start by saying Happy New Year, which, let's be honest, sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? I mean, we say Happy New Year to our non-Muslim friends. I'm not sure how many of us say it to each other, but it is a new year. Admittedly, it's not the Islamic New Year, but it's a new year, and that's an important point to make, because of course this time of year is a time where many people make New Year's resolutions, and that's not restricted to non-Muslims. Some of us may have made New Year resolutions as well. Has anybody here has made a New Year's resolution? To play, obviously not. Play more sport. Okay, I saw one hand raised. I want to ask the brother to mention what the New Year resolution is. But some people do that. And is it a bad thing for us to make New Year's resolutions? Of course not. It's a good way, for example, as was mentioned by our respected president of your Jamaat, of the madrasa, it's a good way to assess yourself. So for example, if I make a New Year's resolution that I'm going to, I don't know, do more sport, for example, I can look back at the end of this year and ask myself the question, how did I do? Let me analyze, or let me evaluate my performance. Did I end up doing more? Have I become a better person? Are my parents happier with me as a person? I'm not quite sure I've done that well, let's say. Then at least the following year I can try that much harder to push myself even more. So making plans, and many of your parents and the professionals in the Jamaat will tell you that actually having a plan, whether it's a 1-year plan, or 5-year plan, or 10-year plan, is a very good way to live your life. And we have a very famous saying in Islam as well, that the most important thing is your niyyah. So you, for example, make the niyyah that you want to do very well in school, you want to please your parents, or you want to go for ziyarah or hajj. Even if you don't get the opportunity to go, the fact that you've made that niyyah is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala holds very dear. So New Year's resolution is very, very good for us as people. And it's a way in which we can, as I mentioned, improve ourselves. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in numerous places in the Quran that He does not change us, it's for us to change ourselves. There's many sayings, for example, where we are told that if we take one step towards Allah, Allah will take how many steps towards us? Has anyone heard this before? Any of the children in the madrasa? If you take one step towards Allah, how many steps will Allah take towards you? Did I hear 10? I think I heard 10 there. Well done. So, of course, making New Year's resolutions is a good thing in Islam. But can anybody tell me what they think would be a really good resolution according to Islam, according to the Prophet and the Imams? What do you think they would consider to be a really powerful or very valuable New Year's resolution? Anybody? I'll start with the younger sisters first, who are mostly over here. A New Year's resolution which would be considered good in Islam. I'm hearing some whispers. Okay, I'll come back to you in a minute. The brothers? Anything? Okay. Anything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would be pleased with. So, for example, I want to start praying on time. I'm sure you all pray, but now praying on time as early as you possibly can would be something good. Or doing more homework, making sure that you get higher grades in school. These are all good things. But the Imams teach us that actually a New Year's resolution, or a really good New Year's resolution, is anything that takes you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So for example, as you know, we don't necessarily celebrate Christmas, but we have Eid, we have at least 2 Eids. Of course, we followers of Ahlul Bayt have many more. But most Muslims think about 2 Eids. Imam Ali alayhi salam, you know what he says about Eid? He says that on the day of Eid, or Eid, a true day of Eid can be any day. Any day in which you or I do not disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is an Eid day for us. Because that is really the essence of life, to live in the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala lives. The first month of the Islamic calendar is when? What's the first month in the Islamic calendar? I know you all know this. Muharram, thank you very much indeed. The 8th Imam has a dua that he makes on that particular day. So again, just to show you how the Imams think about New Year's resolution, or how they think about a new year. And in that particular dua, he says, "Oh Allah, I ask you to protect me from Satan, and I ask you to make sure that I have control of myself, because most of us have the whispers that tell us to do things that are bad. Oh Allah, give me the strength to have control of myself, that I don't listen to those whispers and I do good, and make my life such that everything that I do is engaged in making you happy." So this is what, according to the 8th Imam, would be a New Year's resolution, and it's something that we can look at. The question I want to ask you though, however, is it good in terms of a duration, in terms of a length of time, for us to be making a resolution on a yearly basis? So is it good for me to say that between now and next year I want to increase the amount of times I read the Quran in the week, or I want to make sure that I'm reciting at least 100 verses a day? That's my goal between now and next year. Is that good? In terms of duration, should it be longer or should it be shorter? Anybody? Shorter. Good, I agree. I think, and this is just my humble opinion from the limited research that I've done, but I think that what the Quran, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what the Imams and the Holy Prophet are teaching us is that we shouldn't have just New Year's resolutions, but we should have resolutions on a monthly basis, weekly basis, daily basis, hourly basis, maybe even every minute of the day, which is why we're told that even if we do something wrong or we think something wrong, immediately we should say astaghfirullah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's a way of us not only repenting for the sin that we made, but also convincing ourselves or trying to make sure that we don't make that particular mistake again. We don't have time to discuss it here, but one very important chapter in the Holy Quran, which kind of emphasizes this point, is Surah Al-Asr, which is where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Holy Quran swears by time. Now, Allah doesn't swear by anything unless it's considered valuable. And in that particular verse, He says that definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, man is in loss. So, what I'm trying to say here is that Allah is trying to warn us that each and every second that goes by, insan, all of humanity, not just non-Muslims, not just those who don't follow the Ahlul Bayt, no, all of us, including everybody in this room, is in loss. Unless, of course, you're engaged in righteous deeds, like, of course, coming to madrasa every Saturday, and alhamdulillah, this is an opportunity for your parents, but also the teachers to reward you for your efforts. So well done for that. And of course, one other thing as well that I need to point out, especially to our younger members, and I'm sure, I hope at least the older members would agree with me, is that you are in the prime of life. You may only be 5 years old, or 7 years old, or 16 years old, but this is the best time of your life. Because when you get to our age, we get very tired very easily, the body's a bit weak, sometimes we have health issues. Alhamdulillah, you're all young, you're all energetic, and you're eager to learn. So you come in every week, and I'm sure that's what this recognition of these awards is to thank you for coming every week, and of course to thank your parents, because without them it would not be possible. And keep that going. Don't feel like, oh, I'd rather be at home. You know, there's my friend who's playing Fortnite, and I want to play Fortnite with him. No, coming to madrasa is definitely a good thing. And I can tell by the faces, not on the sister side, but on the brother side, there's a few who know exactly what I'm talking about. So, alhamdulillah, well done indeed for coming like this. The Holy Prophet has mentioned that you, and I'm talking particularly about the youth, but it applies to myself and the elders as well, take benefit from 5 things before 5 other things happen. And one of those things, he says, is take the benefit of your youth. So use your youth wisely now, use your time wisely now before you become old. Because as I mentioned, you have energy and you have enthusiasm. And this will help you later on in life. And he goes on to mention some other things which we won't go into at the moment. And even the Prophet himself, do you know who? Of course, he loves us all. So I'm not saying he doesn't love all of us. The Holy Prophet loves us all. But do you know who he loves the most in terms of age range? Does he love those who are over 40 more, or those who are under 40 more? What do you think? Because we're old and we're wise and we've lived a nice life. So do you think Allah loves us more, or do you think he loves those who are maybe under 25 more?
Under 40.
Under 40. Ahsantum, thank you. And that is actually the case. You know, when the Prophet was in Makkah, not many people actually converted to Islam. But the majority of the people who did convert to Islam were not people of my age. I've got white hair now. Not people of my age, but actually people who were a lot younger. Because the younger people, mashallah, are very energetic. If they're taught the right things, which is why coming to madrasa is very important, the more that they learn. And so the Prophet himself says that he loves you more in that respect because of the fact that you're eager to learn and learn new things. And coming to madrasa is important because on the flip side, of course, young people are very impressionable. Imam Ali alayhi salam says that the young person is like, imagine some farmland which is empty. whatever you throw on that land will grow. Now you could grow some good things like wholesome food, food that's going to feed the community, or you could throw some rubbish stuff on that as well. That is what you as youngsters are like. And so by coming to madrasa, you're protecting yourself, and your parents, inshallah, are protecting you from all of the ills of society that are out there, as again was mentioned by your president earlier on as well. So once again, I would like to just thank you all for coming. It's very important that you do come. Things like Quran, sometimes we underestimate how important the Quran is. But in actual fact, it's a very integral part of our lives. Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam says, if young people get used to reciting the Quran and understanding the Quran, what happens is it seeps into their body, into their blood, into their veins, and it becomes part and parcel of who they are as human beings. And so, again, as your president was mentioning about you becoming rounded individuals of society and being proud Muslims who are able to represent Islam in a positive manner, again, coming to madrasa is something that definitely helps and promotes that, along with the nurturing that you have at home. So not only would I like to congratulate you for coming, I'd also, of course, emphasize the fact that you need to continue to come. And a nice harder for some of you who are maybe at the age of 14, 15, 16, maybe some of your madrasa friends have started to leave now and they're not coming as regularly, or maybe you're starting to have a lot more work at school, and so you would rather do the work at school and not come to madrasa. All of these different challenges are there, but alhamdulillah, you've been coming and continue to come, so keep it going. Because it's not just about your parents and the madrasa staff wanting to teach you just because they feel the necessity to teach, but it's because you are the future leaders of this community, and inshallah the future leaders of the UK, or indeed wherever you end up in the world. Some of you may not actually be in the UK when you grow up. So once again, I would like to say thank you for having me here, but I'd like to thank you all for your attendance and your perseverance, and keep it going, and inshallah keep making a resolution, make a yearly resolution, but also make a resolution on a more regular basis as well. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Sheikh Love, for a very inspiring speech and words of great wisdom. May Allah increase your knowledge and bless you amply for sharing it. I would now like to call upon the President of Essex Jamaat, Uncle Fiaz Haji, for a short talk. Please welcome him with a loud salawat.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I begin in the name of Allah, the Beneficent and Most Merciful. Respected scholar of Islam, Sheikh Rauf, respected Principal, Sabnabai Waji, past Principal, Dr. Kamar Abbas, respected teachers, elders, brothers, sisters, and my young heroes, Assalamu alaikum. I'm indeed honored to be here again, addressing you all on our 11th year of the madrasa. This year, I am informed, has been an extra challenging year for our madrasa, as we incorporated our new Tarbiyah syllabus, which is a new way of teaching our religion. And I'm sure during the year there have been many challenges and many ups and downs, but with any challenge, there are always difficulties, and my sincere gratitude to our respected principal and her team of teachers who have persevered with it as the teaching problems are ironed out, and hope that all the worldwide madaris adopt this syllabus, and hopefully all the children are taught in the same way, inshallah. On behalf of myself and my executive committee, we would like to thank Shabnam Bhai and all our team of teachers for this noble act. I'm sure Sheikh Rauf will agree with that the reward for all your acts are with the Almighty, and Allah has promised that anyone who propagates his religion, the reward for them will be here and in the hereafter. All I can say is thank you for all you do for this community. Before I go on to my next subject on the building update, I'd also like to give some small advice to my little warriors and also the older ones who are going to be graduating this year. What you learn here in the school of our Ahlul Bayt is very different to what you learn in school. In school, they'll teach you how to get a profession and how to earn a living from that. But here, my children, you will learn how to be a good Muslim, a good citizen, and a good human being. This learning will remain with you all your life, and I sincerely hope that you all will make an effort to come back and pass that knowledge to the next generation below you, and that way this institution can carry on. One thing you should always remember is don't just do actions or jobs where you physically see a reward. Sometimes you should put yourselves out of your way